Hello friends, in this lecture we are going to differentiate stress and pressure. In last lecture we have already defined stress. Now what is stress? Stress is nothing but resisting force per unit area. Resisting force per unit area on which force is applied. Area on which this force is applied. This was the basic definition of stress. And stress is a tensor quantity. Stress is a tensor quantity. Means to define this quantity, we need magnitude, we need direction, and we need phase on which it is acting or the plane on which it is acting. Now we have defined the planes or faces. See, if I consider one 3D element, this is the x-axis, and the area which is perpendicular to x-axis is called x-face or x-plane. Now this is the y-axis, and the area or the face which is perpendicular to y-axis is called y-face. This is z-axis, and the area or face which is perpendicular to z-axis is called z-face. This is how we are defining the faces. Now, if I want to see stress is nothing but if I consider one 3D element, now for this 3D element, if stress is normal to the area or load is normal to the area, it is normal stress represented by sigma. And if load is shear to the area or parallel to the area, then it is shear stress represented by letter tau. Now see, for this x face, this is a normal, therefore sigma. This on x face in x direction. The first letter is for face on which it is acting, and second letter is along which direction it is acting. Right. Again, here this is sigma on y face in y direction. Again, this is also normal, sigma on z face in z direction. See, quickly I am revising these things because already in last lecture we have seen this in detail. If you have doubt in this lecture, then go in previous lecture and see the concept of stress and stress, how stress becomes tensor. That is stress tensor. Over there, I have explained all these things in detail. Right. Again, shear stresses. See, in this direction, this is parallel to the area tau on x face in y direction tau xy. Here parallel to the area tau on x face in z direction tau xz. Again here parallel to the area tau on y face in x direction tau yx. This is again parallel to the area, right, on y face in z direction tau yz. Again here parallel to the area tau on z face in x direction tau zx. Again here on parallel to the area tau on z face in y direction tau zy. This is the stress tensor. Now this 3D stress tensor is represented in matrix form, right? And normal stresses are diagonal element and off diagonal elements are shear elements. Now first row is for x face, tau xs, tau xy, tau xz. This is x face. Now second row is for y face, tau yx, sigma yy we can write normal, sigma yy we can write, and tau yz. Again third row is for z face, therefore tau zx, tau zy, and sigma zz. This is a stress tensor. Now let's say if I tell you the stress at a point is 10 MPa. Now tell me what will be the which magnitude they are providing out of these 9 elements, which magnitude they are providing. With only magnitude it is not sufficient to define the quantity, or we cannot tell along these 9 components which is the 10 MPa. But again, let's say I will provide you direction. Stress is 10 megapascal in x direction. If this is given, means one magnitude and direction is given. Now see here, in x direction, sigma xx is there, tau yx is also there, again tau zx is also there. Means along x direction there are 3 stress components. Means if I provide direction also, then it is not sufficient. But if I provide you phase, let's say on y face it is acting, means it is tau yx or not. Tau yx means this magnitude they are providing 10 megapascal. Tau yx is equal to 10 megapascal. Means to define stress we need magnitude, we need direction, as well as we need phase. Hence stress becomes a tensor quantity. Now we will define pressure. Pressure is nothing but it is a force divided by normal area. It is a force divided by normal area. Now unit of pressure is also Newton per meter square, that is Pascal, same as that of stress. Now see, if I consider one fluid, pressure is a scalar quantity. This is a scalar quantity. This is a scalar quantity. Let's say if I consider one static liquid, let's say this is a water or any liquid stored in a jar. Now if I consider three-dimensional element in this liquid, let's say this is a 3D element, small point. Now as per Pascal law, as per Pascal's law, for a static fluid at a point, pressure in all direction is same and compressive. For a static fluid at a point, pressure in all direction is same and compressive, means along y-axis it is compression, along x-axis it is compression, along z-axis also it is compression. Means if I consider a point in a fluid, if I consider a point in a fluid, along all the direction it is compressive and normal. Compression means normal, it is compressive and same, magnitude is same, and along all the axis it is compression. Now in this case, if I provide you the pressure at a point is 10 megapascal, then tell me student, which magnitude is given, along which direction and on which phase. This 10 megapascal is along on all the phases and in all the three directions, right? Means separately there is no need of direction and phase to be defined. Only magnitude is sufficient. See my friends, you are sitting in the room. What is the pressure on you? On you pressure is atmospheric pressure. Now if I ask you in which direction, along all the directions. If I ask you on which area, on all the areas of your human body, right? On your pen, what is the pressure? 1 atmosphere. On the notebook, on the mobile phone, on each and every device, what is the pressure? 1 atmosphere. In which direction? All the direction. And on which face? On all the faces. Means separately we no need to define here the direction and phase. Only magnitude is sufficient, hence pressure becomes scalar quantity. Now here we will differentiate between stress and pressure. Now we will differentiate between stress and pressure, right? There are basically four difference between stress and pressure. Now on left side I am writing stress, and on right side I am writing here pressure. I am writing here pressure. The unit of both is Newton per meter square. Unit of both is force divided by area, Newton per meter square. Now first difference is that the definition, stress is nothing but resisting force per unit area on which this force is acting, per unit area on which this force is acting, right? And for pressure is nothing but force, no need of resisting force, it is only force, whatever may be the applied force divided by normal area. Always normal area for pressure calculation, that is perpendicular area, right? But for stress, the it is the area on which the force is acting. Now second point is stress is tensor quantity. Stress is tensor quantity, it is a second order tensor. And pressure is a scalar quantity. Pressure is a scalar quantity. Now third point is, my dear students, we have already seen the stress can be normal, means if load is perpendicular to area it is normal stress, and if load or force is parallel to the area it is shear stress. Means stress can be normal and can be shear also. Again in normal we have seen the stress can be tensile and stress can be compressive also, right? But the pressure is always normal, pressure is always normal and compressive. Pressure is never shear, pressure is never tensile, pressure is always normal and compressive. Now fourth point is that stress is induced quantity. Stress is induced quantity. That means induced quantity means, let's say if I consider one bar or element on this area, if I apply this force P is applied force, P is a applied force. Now for this applied force the component will give resistance or reaction. For this applied force the component will give resistance, and stress is because of this resisting force. Stress is because of this resisting force, means whenever there is a resistance in the component then stress will come. Means here applied quantity is force, and because of this force resistance is induced in the component, and because of this resistance stress is induced in the component, hence stress is called induced quantity. And fourth point is pressure itself is a applied quantity. Pressure is applied quantity. Applied quantity itself is a applied quantity. Now see, what is the pressure on your marker? Pressure on your marker is, or pressure on your pen is 1 atmosphere. What is pressure on you? 1 atmosphere. Means here area is changing. Area of your pen and area of yours is different. What is pressure on your notebook? Area is changing, but pressure still same. Atmospheric pressure means pressure itself is applied on the all the elements. And here what is pressure? Pressure is nothing but force divided by area. From this we can calculate force. Force is nothing but pressure into area. Means as area changes force changes but pressure remains same. Pressure itself is a applied quantity, and if this pressure gets area then there will be a force, and if there is a force there will be a resistance, and if there is a resistance there will be a stress. Means see, if there is a pressure there will be a force. What is relation between pressure and stress? That I am telling you. If there is a pressure there will be a force. If this pressure gets area there will be a force, and for this force there will be resistance, and due to this resistance there will be a stress. This is basic difference between stress and pressure. Thank you students. In next lecture we will start complex loading.